Rory, thanks for coming to the Full Beam. It's a pleasure to have you here. What we do is we normally start each episode with kind of understanding how you fell into fleet management. It's not really something you normally go to uni for, so just to kind of understand a bit more about the person behind the title, I guess.
Well, firstly, thank you for the invite. I've been waiting months for this. I thought it would never happen, but really glad to be in this lovely studio that you've pulled together, and really excited to be doing the Full Beam. So I guess ultimately, in terms of the journey to this point, really, went into university not really knowing what I wanted to do. Went to do business, and that's what I did for the 3 years there. But really went there to kind of go and try and be a professional swimmer.
Right, okay.
I didn't achieve that bit of the goal, to be honest, but right. I did come out with a business degree. So had a fantastic time at Loughborough. And then, like a lot of people that come out of university, kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do and applied for jobs in lots of different banks. I did know I wanted to go into banking and finance. But I did have a real passion for cars. I was very into VWs, particularly at that time, and was always really interested in cars. So got my first job offer in Royal Bank of Scotland, which was at Lombard Vehicle Management, which no longer exists, to be honest. Yeah. But went there, moved to Birmingham for that job, started on the phones, doing quotes, doing orders, then moved quickly into pricing and then managed the pricing team for a while. Following on from that, I went into probably what was then the most significant role, which was still within Lombard, but within their consultancy team. So working for a guy that I'm still friends with, a chap called Paolo Larkman. During that time, I trained as an accountant, so I did my SEMA qualification at that point. But importantly, I got to just learn so much. I learned so much in that role. I was doing it for 2 to 3 years, going out, seeing customers, having conversations, pulling analysis together for them. And through that, really realised that the bit that I liked about that job was being in front of customers, not necessarily I did like the analytics bit, but it was going and presenting it and finding solutions. So long story short, I suppose over that time, Lombard ended up being sold, which kind of threw a lot of people out into going to find new roles within the industry. Was looking at various options, knew I wanted to be customer facing, and ultimately went into a new business role. And it was my first time going into new business, and found it challenging, to be honest, because starting off and you've got your mobile phone and your laptop and it's go and make it happen, but really enjoyed it, loved the chase of that role, loved the competition that was involved with it, and almost stayed in new business from that point across different leasing companies, always the same industry though, all the way up really until I joined Holman, which was at the end of December 2016. So really long journey, many years in new business, just really enjoying doing that and speaking to lots of different customers, signing lots of new business. Was successful in that, fortunately, and still have some of those customers which are now Holman customers today. Some of them unfortunately are not, but I still have great friendships with them. So it's been about the people that I've met on that journey, really.
I was going to say that, actually. It sounds like the people has been the thing that's helped you kind of navigate whatever journey you've gone on, and it's the people that have kind of helped deliver that through relationships and stuff like that. Is there anyone, before we kind of talk about you and your Holman capacity, I guess, is there anyone or anything that you think about, like a biggest lesson you learned about how to create relationships or drive those relationships that you kind of, it's something that's taken you on within your journey?
I think there's probably a few bits in it, really. I think it starts off with actually listening and really understanding what people are saying. So they might be saying something, but what is the underlying reason why they're saying it? What's driving that? And really understanding that starting point. But upon that side of things and really understanding what they're trying to do and being really curious and delving deeper and deeper, it's then being able to just find solutions to support them. And I think as long as you're honest in what you're able to do, can kind of really deliver on your promises, then people trust you, buy into you, and ultimately you can keep those relationships. And hence I've got them 10 to 15 years on from those initial conversations, because we said what we were going to do. It might not have been overcommitting like some people were, but we said what we'd do, we did it, and they know they can rely on me to do that when they come to us and speak to us in any conversation. And some of them reach out to me now just for a conversation. They're not going to come to Holman. They're doing what they're doing, but they know that I'll give them some honest advice, and I appreciate that. And I do the same with some of those customers and some of my colleagues as well, to be honest.
I think it kind of links really well, isn't it? Is that kind of transparency and honesty piece, which is, from a Holman perspective, is what we talk about. So it kind of leans really well into what's the journey within Holman been? Because you've talked about, different types of businesses, different methods, different models. What's your journey within Holman been, and kind of key takeaways from it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's been hugely exciting. I think joining at the end of December 2016, I'd only just started a family. We'd had my daughter, so the first of our children. Coming into a new role based in Chippenham, it was a big change, to be honest. So I came in initially to set up the leasing business that we have today, and started from scratch with it, really. So it was hugely exciting because it was just the unknown. It was the journey of the unknown, really. And I thought this could either be the greatest success that we have, or it might not turn into anything. Fortunately, it ended up being very successful, and I've just truly enjoyed that journey. But I've learned a lot along that way as well. And I think, importantly, the amount of people within Holman and within our customers that I appreciate joining us on that journey, certainly in the early stages, there's been so many people involved. There's been probably 50 people throughout those sort of 8 years that have contributed, the sales team that have come in, the administration team, the vehicle ordering side of things, then our dealers and the supply chain that have supported us on that journey. So it's been hugely exciting to watch that grow. I suppose that's where the beginning of sort of my time with Holman began, but then ultimately over that time, fortunately, I've had the opportunity to then move into bringing on new customers, to supporting our existing customers as well. And I really enjoy that side of things. Most of the customers we'd brought on anyway, I've still got very good relationships with, and still spend a lot of time with. So it's now just really helped that journey to make sure that when we're bringing on customers at the front end, they're staying with me and with my team, so that we can make sure that we remember what they're trying to achieve and make sure we deliver on those objectives in life. So it's been certainly the most enjoyable 7-8 years of my career. It's been hugely rewarding in terms of what it's given me back as an individual, and the people that I've met along this journey and continue to do. It's certainly been the best part of my career to date.
And I guess you talked about like one of the reasons why you feel like maybe you were successful, you were able to level up in your career generally, is that you really enjoyed listening and understanding what the underlying need is. I think it's fair to say that our model isn't it's not the majority within the industry. So has it kind of played that part of, have you seen by listening to people, they actually, you've had to support them with that journey and that change, and what has helped people kind of understand the value of our model versus someone else? Yeah,
absolutely. I think the model gets talked about a lot, in all fairness, and both from ourselves and with our prospects, but also within the industry. And what I certainly know to be the case is that one size doesn't fit all. There isn't one funding method, one vehicle type, one support service model that works for all customers in all industries across all asset classes. So I think there was always room for somebody like Holman to come in and give customers another choice that isn't just do what they've always done or what the rest of the market's offering them, because then they haven't got any options to go elsewhere. So I think Holman bringing in that alternative model for them that can support all of their vehicle classes and can work for them and is still as easy for them to transact as it would be doing anything else, but carries lots of other benefits to it, it has been a welcome place in the market. And I guess our growth over the last 8 years, moving into 16th in the FM50 within that sort of 7-year leasing period, more than doubling the size of the fleet management business, shows that, yeah, absolutely, there is a market for that. And we have more people coming to talk to us about it all the time. So I think that's really it. It's that there's not one size fits all, and people need an option to go to, and Holman have brought that option into the UK marketplace.
And I guess one of the other things, and I think about this from we're not selling a tangible product, right? It's a service, so you have to kind of live and breathe it and feel it, which means going back to your initial point of the people are the important part. How do we ensure that our team have the expertise, the knowledge, or how do you impart some of your knowledge to help the next generation, if you like, and ensure we can support our customers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in terms of the people, yeah, absolutely. Look, it's the same vehicles that anyone would deliver. It's different funding method, but lots of people could do it. The differentiator within our business is twofold, really. It's the technology, but most importantly, it is people. It's people dealing with people, be it at a garage level or at a customer level, to make sure that the service is delivered. And then it's onwardly those people that then continue to deliver the service. So that is where our focus needs to be. I think in terms of the people that we've brought in over the certainly 8 years. There was great people when I joined this business, and now there's just more great people that have joined over that time. Having 2 sites now, so obviously the Birmingham site as well, is allowed to really expand our recruitment capacity, and also the side of remote working has allowed us to do that. So we've got some brilliant people coming into the business. In terms of probably the messaging that I would give to our employees and do encourage them to do, carry on that curiosity, just really understand the why they're being asked to do something, because sometimes you're asked to do something and you just try and react instantly to go and find a quick solution.
Yeah.
But actually understanding the why, we might already have ways we can fix it, but we also might have ways that we can improve things so that request doesn't come up again, and we've already covered it off in our standard literature. I think the other side of things is just the training and development that we've put in place. When Holman on board employees, there's a fairly rigorous process, I think it's fair to say, to do it, to ensure that we bring on the right people from a character point of view as much as anything. And it's proven to work. We get fantastic people with the right attitude as a starting point. And if people come in keen and willing to learn and flexible in what they're doing, then they seem to be able to do that and have thriving careers within Holman.
It's great, and it's almost not just our people as well, is it? It's the customers, like giving them a voice, understanding what they need, because our environment's changing. I think it's fair to say we've all got a drive for sustainability, however that journey goes. But how do we ensure that kind of that voice of the customer is also heard, and we're aligning our support services and our solutions against our customer needs?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first part to that, what we've tried to do, certainly over the last few years, and we'll never get to the end of, ultimately we'll continue to push forward with, is creating that opportunity for continuous feedback, really. Be that from drivers through the app or through feedback that we get from our customers directly, be that through voice of the customer sessions, customer forums, clients when they come in, when they come to dinners with us. We try and really just set the scene as much as possible for customers to feel able to share feedback with us, because, and that's good and negative feedback, but it's also improvements that we can make. And that really is how the model and our offering has evolved over the years. It's not kind of a, well, we think we want to do this. We do have a view of which way we want to take the model and the support services, but really it's driven by customer demand, customer requirement, and also the prospects that we speak to. If they're looking for something that we think, actually, not only can we deliver that for you, but actually this can benefit our other customers, then it's ensuring that we share that best practice across our UK account management team, UK sales team, in both BT and our core business, but also across our German partners, our American partners, because we've all got customers in different markets doing similar things and facing similar challenges. So I think taking that wider feedback from Holman and from our customers to deliver better services, the way that we can absolutely do that.
Which kind of, it goes back to your earlier point, doesn't it? It all hinges around the people, is sharing that wealth of knowledge and being curious and challenging and all that kind of great stuff. Just, I guess the one question from me is, like, if you look back at, have you got a one, you said about being curious, but if you could tell your younger self something, and, you know, what would it have been in order for you to maybe have done more quicker? Or
I think, you think about this sort of thing a lot, to be honest. Like you sort of don't recognise that you're moving forward necessarily, but when you look back, you think, wow, what a way I've come in 5 years, 10 years. Yeah. I think I tried to pass this on to my children as well as pass it back to my younger self, because they're better versions of my younger self ultimately. But I think the main one there'd be two things really. The first one would be, I always used to think when I was doing everything, it was like a moment in time. So you go and do your GCSEs, you think, if I do well here, everything will be fine. Yeah. And then you do them, you put the effort in, you do well. Then it's A levels, and then you do that. So you think there's all this pressure on these individual moments. That is not the case at all. I think I've learned over time that at any point you can improve yourself and go and do something different. If you want to be a doctor in your 40s, you could go and train and do it. It's possible. There's no point where it all becomes fine, and there's no point where it all becomes a disaster. It's this constant ability to keep progressing, keep pushing forward each day. Yeah. There's no cut off. So that's probably the first one. And then the second one probably is just to believe in myself. I think everybody doubts their ability to do certain things. I think the way that my career's gone, I've always put my hand up to really do anything, and then worry about how I'm going to possibly do it afterwards.
Said every salesperson.
Absolutely, which comes with some successes and some disasters as well. To be honest with you, fortunately, the disasters have never impacted others. It's only really my own ego or whatever that has been. But I think it's important to be like, it's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Put yourself forward and take on the challenges, and what's the worst that can happen with it? Just give it a go, and if you fail, you'll learn and be able to do it better next time, and if you success, then you give yourself a bit of confidence to go into what the next thing is. So either way, as long as it ends in a good result, I think.
Cool. And then I guess we're looking back, and before we get to my final two questions, but I guess looking forward, what's kind of, from your perspective, what are you excited to see 2025, 2026 and beyond, I guess, from...
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably the thing that I'm most excited about really is where we're taking the offering from a Holman point of view, at least. I think we've done a great job of improving the services that we've already got, making them easier for customers to transact with, and ultimately finding customers that can benefit from them. What I'm excited about as we go into 2025 and beyond is how we're looking at other parts to that solution. So certainly the use of data and connected data in vehicles, that is going to really take the analytics that we have and the guidance that we can give customers to utilise their flexibility that they have with us to a next level. That's probably the thing, but that's just one part of it. There's lots of other products, how we're supporting our EV journey. There's many other bits, but I just think how we're evolving what we do and taking it to the next level to improve our customers' experience will look very different in 2 years' time, and in 5 years' time will be a completely different business.
Yeah, it's exciting, and with the core of that transparency and agility at exactly everything we're doing to make sure we can support those customers, which kind of leans in very well with, as an organisation, and you'll know this as you've been in the organisation for 7-8 years, that our tagline is driving what's right. And that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. So what we like to do as part of this is we ask the question, what does it mean to you, I guess, is the important bit, because it should mean something different to every person, but ultimately it normally rounds up to the same thing. But from me, what does driving what's right mean to you?
Yeah, I think, so driving what's right is something that's been within our business for many years since I joined, and not something that I'd heard about prior to coming to Holman. But what I think it all relates back to is, when nobody's watching, it's all the hard work that you put in then that makes the biggest difference. And I think driving what's right is very much in that frame of mind as well, in that when everyone's watching, it's easy to do the right thing, support people, do what everyone thinks is right. But when nobody's looking and you're doing what you need to do, are you thinking about what's good for the customers, what's good for Holman, and what's right for the people around you? So driving what's right for me is, when nobody's there and it's just you with your thoughts, are you more broadly thinking about doing the right thing and supporting the people around you?
I love it. That's very good.
Thank you very much.
So then the last one for me is we ask everyone, and the bookcase is there, ask everyone that's been part of the podcast to bring something in and that means something to them that they can leave, and kind of give an explanation as why. And then that's kind of like our final question. So we know we've already teed it up, but what have you brought in and why?
So on face value, this will seem bizarre, and then I'll put the story to it. So this is a Holman Maraca.
Amazing.
And the reason for this is twofold, really. So one, yes, we do have lots of Holman branding, and this is probably the most bizarre of them. But the story behind it really is what it's all about, I suppose. So last week I was at Partners in Excellence, the Circle of Excellence that we have for our top 1% of achievers within Holman. And it was at the place where I went to the first time 7 years ago. So it was a good reminisce for me in terms of going back to that. The reason why I suppose it means so much to bring it in is it just reminded me of the quality of people that we have in this organisation. Having gone to it for 7 years and seen 7 years worth of those top 1% of our employees.
Yeah.
Interacting with them, spending time with them, and their partners, who are always first class as well. So this year it was Ollie Hubbard, who joined us, and his partner Elle. And in previous years, they've all been fantastic people, and you just think these people have got great careers, but it shows the talent that we bring into Holman as well. So a fantastic event in Mexico. It changes round every year, but it's just been such a privilege to go and spend time with our partners and with their better halves in many cases, to go and enjoy it with them, really.
That's amazing. I was fortunate enough, and is an absolutely fantastic event, and it is about seeing the people behind the titles and just celebrating those people that have done amazing things and continue to kind of lift, I guess, continue to drive what's right, I guess, is the main bit. So thank you very much for that. That's it from us. So thank you very much for coming, and well, I'll see you in the office later. But thank you very much for coming, and I'm sure we'll have you on again soon.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Aidan.